Welcome to Out and About. I'm Sonia Daniels, Escambia County Public Information Manager. On today's episode of Out and About, we're going to be talking about Escambia County Area Transit, ECAT for short. You've probably seen the buses around the county, maybe not really understood what it's all about. Well, that's what we're going to do today, is answer those questions and help you find alternative ways to travel. And joining us for today's conversation is Tanya Ellis. She's the Director of Marketing and Community Relations for ECAT. Tanya, thanks so much. And I know there's green buses out there, there's painted buses out there, there's those bus stop signs, there's the new benches. There's a lot of things happening with ECAT, and for that person driving by in their car every day, they may not completely understand. So we want, for the viewers at home, to give them a chance to understand what all ECAT has to offer and those services that are available. And I'm going to let you just jump right in and start with just kind of an overview of the services.
Well, thank you, Sonia, for having me. ECAT is Escambia County Area Transit, and we are the public transportation provider for Escambia County. We provide services in Century all the way to Perdido Key. We also have trolleys at UWF. We also have worked with Santa Rosa Island Authority, have a trolley on the beach. We also work with Pensacola Bay as the Community Transportation Coordinator, which provides ADA transportation. So we do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, moving people around the beaches to all over the county. Why should someone ride ECAT? What's a good benefit for riding one of those trolleys or buses?
Well, it's good for the community, first of all. Also, it's an alternative transportation mode. For those that choose not to either drive their car because of gas prices, or they want to help the environment, be more environmentally friendly, they can use the ECAT. ECAT public transit has been known many years as an alternative for folks, instead of using their car, to ride transit.
Well, and I know, and I think it's a new program this year, but I know in seeing the trolleys out on the buses, and when they first launched, or the trolleys out on the beaches, and when they first launched that this year, they talked about the ability to use your cell phone to know how much longer before the bus got there. And I thought, what a great idea to be able to park your car in one spot on Pensacola Beach and then be able to essentially ride the island and see everything there was to see. I can't think of an easier way to do that, and that's something that you guys have helped to facilitate.
Yes, that's called Next Bus technology. It's one of the new technologies in transit where you can actually use your cell phone, or if you have an Android or something of that nature, and you can actually call into the number, and it'll tell you exactly when the next bus or trolley is going to come to that location.
Now, that's not at all the bus stops right now. Is that one just on the beach right now?
Currently, it's just on the beach, but that is something that ECAT is researching of having implemented on all the buses.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Is it easy to take the bus? Because I know, like down here in downtown Pensacola, there's a lot of bus stop signs. So how easy is it to get on and off and navigate your way around?
It's relatively easy. There are some places in Escambia County we don't have service, which we're hoping to one day expand on. But if you go to a bus stop, you'll see the ECAT logo, or it'll say bus stop or have ECAT on it. You can catch the bus. Most buses run between 30 minutes or every hour.
Okay.
Except on Saturdays, most of them run every 2 hours.
Okay.
So you can also call our customer service if you had a question of if a route goes a particular location, which is 595-3228. Or you can go to our website at www.goecat.com.
And how many routes do you have? I mean, I know to me it seems like there's a lot, but for the folks at home that may not see and get around town as much as I do, or some other folks do, may not know how many routes you have.
We have about 20 routes. That doesn't include the trolleys. So we also have some seasonal routes as well. The trolleys at University of West Florida run throughout the year, and the trolleys on the beach only run during the summer season, and that's Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Now, the trolley that runs out at UWF, does it come off the UWF campus, or is it just for students up on the campus predominantly?
It does come off the campus for the students. It actually comes out to Target at University Parkway. And one of the neat things about the UWF trolley, because it does come off the campus for Target, so students can actually go shopping or Publix, that particular location is also the same location that Santa Rosa Transit has a stop. So folks coming down Highway 90 from Santa Rosa County can also connect to UWF.
Okay, so, and I hope I'm not stumping you this morning, but a thought just came to mind. So, and it's great. Folks, students that are on campus can come and do their shopping. From Target, can they pick up another bus that would say take them down to Cordova Mall where they could walk to the movie theater? Do they have that possibility of catching something else that would come further south in Escambia County?
Yes, Route 43 actually comes to University Parkway as well, and it does go to the Cordova Mall area, and it also goes by Pensacola State College.
Oh, that's awesome. So really and truly, if your child is at school up there, they don't need a car, they don't need to have personal transportation. The bus system will get them right where they need to go. And I like that it goes over into Santa Rosa County as well. Is it what do they call that? Is it just like a shuttle service, essentially?
Right now, it's a service that was provided with Santa Rosa County in West Florida Regional Planning Council.
Okay.
Through the Transportation Planning Organization. It's a grant that they got for job access reverse commute for jobs, and it's in its trial period per se.
So do they go like to a parking lot, park their car, board the bus then that brings them into Escambia County, and then they pick up the regular bus routes? Is that kind of how that works?
Well, actually, we're working with Santa Rosa County. It's because it's their separate transit route, but in creating that, they actually worked with ECAT to make sure that our times could connect. So folks that were coming from Santa Rosa County could connect to ECAT bus.
How do you determine where a route needs to be? How do you develop those routes?
Well, historically in the past, a lot of the times is if there was a need somewhere, if a new subdivision or housing area or a business open, if there was a need, folks would request that there be a stop or a route added. Right now we're going through the transit development plan, and part of that process is to look at the decision matrix of how routes are determined, if they're efficient, if they're needed, if there are parts that may not work as well. And one of the great things that I'm excited about coming from this transit development plan is that I'll be working with that very closely to implement a strategic marketing plan to make sure before a route is added or any changes are made that we do outreach to the community, to the the Kiwanis clubs, the local churches, or the neighborhood associations in that area. That we make sure that we get their feedback first as far as if a route is needed or need more service, less service, or what we can do to help them.
So demand will help drive the routes as well?
Yes, yes.
Now, and I know you said you've got a study going on right now. Will they be looking at if some routes, in terms of just don't have enough people on, whether or not they'll continue those routes? Is that part of the analysis?
Well, part of the plan is to come up with a tool that ECAT and Escambia County can use going forward in the future. Far as actually determining if a route is efficient or if it needs to be changed or modified, that typically comes through a comprehensive operational analysis, which is basically looking at each route individually, as far as the parts where there's significant ridership, where there's no ridership. And a lot of times it might just be a simple tweaking of the system of just one particular going one block over or not. So it may not necessarily be a significant change.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we don't want to alarm anybody, and we don't want to make anybody think we're taking anything away. And we've talked about a few of the places that the bus can take you. We talked about coming in from Santa Rosa County, and we talked about the fact that there's a beach trolley. But can you kind of hit for us what like the northernmost point is and the westernmost point, some of those key areas that folks may not realize, that it's not just in the core parts of the county, that we do actually kind of spider web out?
Yes. We have a route that goes to Century that goes several times a day, 3 times a day, and that's our most northern route. We also have routes that go up 29 as well, towards near the interstate. We have routes right now that go as far west as Perdido Key.
Okay.
So we have routes that go on NAS Pensacola, that go along in those areas, Blue Angel Parkway, routes that go near Softly Field. And of course, we have several routes that do come downtown. Then we have one route that does go to the beach, which is independent of the trolley, and that runs 3 times a day.
And I hadn't thought about you mentioned NAS, and I hadn't thought about that until you said that, but that's another, like college students, that's another core group of people that don't necessarily have transportation, and this can be a way for them to actually get off base and see some of the area before they get their next assignment or their next orders. So that's really good. And you did mention that some of the routes, the routes will change on the weekends. Do most of the routes run Monday through Friday with a slight variation on the weekends?
Yes, most of the routes run Monday through Friday. We have routes that start as early as a little after 5, and we have some that run as late as almost 10.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize you
yes.
could run that late.
And there's certain routes that, certain parts of town that actually have routes that run a little bit later, but most of them usually stop around 6 or 7. We do have some routes that run on Saturdays, and we have 1 or 2 that run on Sunday.
Okay, so Sunday would be the day that would be the least amount of
yes.
buses available. All right. Well, and I know you mentioned your website, and you may want to take us back there again, but in terms of getting information on routes and times for those routes, times for particular bus stops, is there a rider's guide, or is everything just electronic now?
No, we still have printed materials. They can pick up a ECAT ride guide from our location on Fairfield Drive. They can call our customer service number, which is 595-3228, and they can provide them with route information, or as far as the times as well.
Okay, and I know we've got some video up of some of the routes, and that we have been putting up the phone number and the website address so folks at home can, and actually that's video out on NAS. So we took some time to try and get out and get some video so folks can actually see what some of these routes actually look like.
We've been fortunate, the NAS and the command staff there at NAS and at Fairfield, as far as working with them, as far as some of the needs of the individuals out there, as far as what they need, as far as services. So we've been very fortunate to work with them.
Now, one of the things that, just out of curiosity, because granted, when we're on the bus, we're leaving the driving to you. So what kinds of things can I bring on the bus? What kinds of things can I do while I'm riding from stop to stop?
Well, we do have some buses that do have Wi-Fi
Yay.
availability. So you can actually, they say don't text and drive. So actually you wouldn't be driving. You can actually text in ride in comfort and get to your destination. You can bring, if you choose to have music, headphones, no open food or drinks, of course, on the bus, none of the other normal safety things. So.
Well, I think that's great. I think it's a good idea that, especially the Wi-Fi. I hadn't considered Wi-Fi. I was thinking, well, maybe I could use my cell phone, but being able to actually do email and that kind of thing from a laptop would really be nice. Financial side, how much does it cost to take the bus? How much is the pass to do a round trip, for example?
It's $1.75 to ride the bus, and we do have discounted fares. There are some routes, our commuter routes, which are $2.35.
And those are round trip prices?
Those are single
rides.
Single ride passes.
Okay, so $1.75 each way, or $2.25?
$2.35.
$2.35.
Yes.
Okay.
One of the neat things is we do the transfers are free. So if you had to catch the bus downtown and transfer at the ECAT facility, that transfer is free, and then you can continue on your destination.
Okay, that's really not bad. Now, do you have? You mentioned discounts, but do you have like a monthly pass? Can I go in and just buy a ticket or a card that will get me a certain number of rides? Is there?
Yes, we have a variety. we have 10 ride, we have 20 ride bus passes. We also have monthly bus passes. We also have monthly bus passes for the disabled, seniors, and we have student 10 ride tickets as well.
And can we purchase those online, or do we need to go to your facility on Fairfield?
You can actually go online and purchase them.
Okay.
There's a link there on our website, or you can come into the facility and purchase them.
So if I were going out from like Naval Air Station, the museum out at NAS that we saw the video of just a minute ago, out to Pensacola Beach, I could do that whole ride for $1.75?
Well, depending.
Okay.
You can actually leave NAS, come downtown and transfer, and you can actually catch a bus going out to the beach. Now, that particular beach route is $235 to ride.
Okay.
So you just pay the difference.
Pay the difference.
Mhm,
Okay.
from the transfer.
Okay. All right. And I know that UWF, and I kind of keep going back to that, that's such a beautiful campus. And in addition to just all the school stuff, they have some nature trails and some bike trails. So if I wanted to go up to UWF and I wanted to take my bicycle, can I put my bicycle on the bus?
You surely can. All of
Okay.
our buses have has a bike rack on it, and actually the trolleys do too.
Oh, wow.
So you can actually
Okay.
take it from the bus to the trolley.
Okay.
Yes.
And I was going to say, I know we have, in fact, there's video right there. We have a lady that works downtown that I've seen her at the bus stop with her bicycle, and I'm thinking, is she taking that bicycle on the bus? But yes, she is. She is. Because that's a great feature. I didn't realize that we did that as well. Now, what's the difference between the regular painted buses, the ones with the ads on the sides, and the ones that are that real pretty green? Is there a difference, or is it just a newer bus?
Well, it is a newer bus. They were purchased with stimulus funds, but they are considered green buses. They have lower emissions than the older buses, which are the painted ones with the advertising. So we got 10 new buses
Oh, wow.
about 2 years ago, and people love them when you see them around town. They're nice, and they
I
have
love the cat.
the cat running. And they are low floor buses, so they don't have a wheelchair lift. They actually have a ramp that comes out for folks that may have some mobility challenges.
Oh,
They can
wow.
actually walk on with the ramp.
So do all the buses have the ability to get wheelchair
Yes,
folks on?
all the buses are wheelchair accessible.
That was the word I was looking for, accessible, sorry.
Some of the older buses have the lift, where you see it lifting up, and that you can actually go on. It has 2 locations on the bus for them to secure them. And it's not just for folks that are in wheelchairs. We do have some of our seniors that may have some difficulties getting up the steps, so they're able to utilize the lift or the ramp.
Well, and I noticed from some of the video that Cam shot, I've been trying to watch some of that as we've been talking, you can actually see where the drivers will get off the bus and help guide folks to where they need to go. So it looks like you've got drivers as well that are very customer service oriented, that really want to make sure folks have ease in
Yes.
traveling back and forth and around and about.
We're very fortunate. We have a lot of our operators that have been there for many, many years. Very seasoned operators that are willing to help, that are familiar with the area, and that can help people as far as getting the proper route or just information in general. We have a lot of times folks, it may not be about a particular route. They may ask, well, where is this location, or I'm not familiar with the area, and they're able to give them that information.
I'd say those bus drivers are probably unsung heroes. They probably do a lot more than we realize, do more than just drive the bus. Are there ways for folks to get involved with ECAT's mission? Are there things that folks can do, volunteer, that kind of thing?
Yes. ECAT and Escambia County have a committee called the Mass Transit Advisory Committee, and it meets every other month on the second Tuesday from 3 to 5 here at Board of County Commissioners facility. And it's an opportunity for regular citizens to come and talk to not only ECAT staff, but to the committee, which is made of other citizens that were appointed by the County Commission and members of the city. So it's an opportunity to just discuss some of the issues or any ideas that people may have, and we welcome folks to come out. So that you can also get information about that on our website, or you can call our office.
Okay. And mentioning the Mass Transit Advisory Committee, you mentioned earlier in our questioning here that the study that was going on, the Transit Development Plan.
The
I'm
TDP.
grasping for
Yes.
the words, Transit Development Plan. Will there be opportunities, or are there currently opportunities for the public to become a part of that process?
Yes, there has been, there's a link on our website as well.
Okay.
And we've been going through this process now almost for a year. And information has been disseminated also at the Mass Transit Advisory Committee, the MTAC meetings as well. So there's plenty of opportunities to provide feedback or comments. A lot of times folks may just ask, well, there's new subdivision in this area. Will there be a route in this area? For example, we do get inquiries about Navy Federal which is out there not too far off 9 Mile. And we also have folks saying, well, I live in this area. Will y'all ever get service in this area? Or how do I get to, I just started a job, and
Right.
what's the route that I can take to get there? So there are plenty of opportunities for the public to comment, and if there's a question, you can also comment on our website, independent of the study, of any issues you may have, and myself and our staff, we will respond. And we call you back or email you back, and if there's something that we can do to help you, continue on. One of the neat things that we do have also in my department is called travel trainings that we do for folks.
Travel
Training.
Training, okay.
Part of our mobility management program for folks, traditionally for folks that are disabled. They need assistance and more one-on-one training on how to ride the bus. Because sometimes it can be overwhelming of how to read the system map and the ride guide. And so we sit down with you and we'll go over the information with you and find out where you're going, where is your destination, and what routes you would need to take. And we spend a lot of time with you to do that. And we'll actually ride the bus with you. It's free service.
Well, and I associate that with the first time you do anything, unless someone has kind of walked you through the process, it can be cumbersome. It can be overwhelming. Just what do I do first? What do I do next? How do I know when to get off? How do I know when to change buses? And that's a great opportunity. And they can find out more about that on your website as well?
Yes, they can.
Right. Folks need to start spending some time on goecat.com. Y'all need to, it's at the bottom of our screen right now, goecat.com. Go to the website, check it out. And that's just awesome.
And travel training is not just for folks that are disabled. We do get a lot of folks that are new to the area, that are tourists, or that have just recently moved here and are not familiar with the city. And we sit down with them as well. So.
Oh, great. What other things? I want to give you an opportunity. I've kind of been just asking you a lot of questions about ECAT specifically, but what